Cuba, it's me, episode 58 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. Now, I did an episode a couple weeks back about the feud that I had against Jessy Jones, and this was the greatest feud I've ever been involved in. It was a really good one. It went on for a couple years, and basically the first one, I quickly will fill you in. Jessy won a match to my citizenship, so he owned the rights to me. And if I didn't do what he'd say, he'd send me back to Cuba. So, eventually, I finally got sick of his nonsense, and I didn't listen to him, so he sent me back to Cuba. Well, Joe Dog Halem, the commissioner of PWA at the time, brought me back in from Cuba, and I came back, and I won the internet title from Jessy Jones, the one that he stole from me from the start. So now Jessy was really mad, and he wanted his title back, and I can't remember if we lost the rematch or if we had a rematch, or either way, what I do remember was he wanted a shot at the title, so he put his hair up for grabs. If he won the internet title. If I won, I got to shave his head. So we had quite an epic battle in the ring. And for people that don't know, maybe they just know Jessy Jones as a manager or like a really good getting the fans to hate him, but he could actually move around really well, and we wrestled some really fast-paced matches, and I won. And he tried to run away, of course, and a whole bunch of guys from the locker room came out and held him down, and I shaved his head right in the middle of the ring in front of all the fans. So now Jessy was really upset. So he would come out during some of my other matches and attack me. He left me bloodied one time. He came and interfered in this other match and threw me through the announcer's table. And finally, the commissioner had enough and said, we're going to end this once and for all. And we had this Return of the King tour, which featured, I believe it was Steve Corino. I know Canyon was on one of the shows. I can't remember which one it was, but I remember on the Friday night in Cambridge, we were to have a Havana street fight, which was my first Havana street fight. The next night, I tagged with Canyon Saturday in Newmarket, and then on Sunday, we were to have our last battle, which was a first blood match. So on the Friday night in Cambridge, we had a Havana street fight. Now, this match still gets people still talk to me about it. It may be one of my most famous matches I've been in. And we beat everything out of each other. Like, we destroyed each other in this match. I still feel this on my body to this day. Jessy got a little blood. We hit each other with weapons. We smashed each other on the floor numerous times. But at the end, Jessy tried to take the turnbuckle off and throw me into it, but I reversed, and he hit the turnbuckle, and I rolled him up and got the pin. So then, 2 days later, it was a first blood match in Brantford, Ontario, and we were both not feeling 100% after the Havana street fight 2 days later, and we still went out there and battled with everything we had. And most of these matches I've been talking about too are on tape. Some of them are on YouTube, and some of them are just in the archives getting ready for the Elian and Jessy documentary. So the first blood match was it was all over the place. There was some really cringeworthy moments in it. There was some moves that were done that were not for the faint of heart. And at the very end, something happened. I can't remember. Something with the ref, but I think the ref was knocked out. And then something happened. I hit Jessy with a chair or something, and he was bleeding. But the ref was knocked out, so he couldn't call the end of the match because he didn't know there was any blood. So Jessy was trying to get me to bleed before the ref would woke up. But just as he was about to, I think he had me tied in the ropes or something, the ref woke up, and Jessy would never win his internet title back. I held on to the belt for another year or so, and Jessy was not too happy with me, but at the end of the match, we decided it was kind of a mutual thing, like out of respect for the battles we had gone through, that we shook each other's hand right there in the middle of the ring. But this was not the end of the Jessy Elian saga. This was kind of like the end of the feud, mostly. but other things would come along. That's why there is going to be a part 3 of this series, the finale. But right now, this is part 2, and I mean, at the time, I really couldn't stand Jessy because he was like my biggest rival ever, and he tried to hold me down for so long, and he tried to keep me away from the fans, who I love the fans, and I just wanted to, soak in all the cheers and take pictures with them, but he wouldn't let me do that. So finally, when I broke free, he deported me. So yeah, like I came back and I was finally able to do it the way I want to do it. But looking back now, after like 10 years or more, I have a lot of respect for Jessy. Some of my hardest matches ever have been against him, and he put it all out there on the line. So did I, and how could you not, looking back, have respect, like I just said, for someone that you've been through these wars with, and we're both around to talk about it till this day, and it was a great moment in my life because I finally got to come back, get the title that I felt I deserved, and plus some of these matches, I got a lot of praise for them, so I do have a lot of respect for Jessy in that. And so yes, there will be a part 3. This is episode 58 of The W.I.L.L.I.W Show. Remember, like or you get a leg drop. Comment or you get a clothesline. Subscribe or you get a suplex. Tell me what you remember about the Elian and Jessy feud. If you remember, or what matches you liked or anything like that, I would love to hear about it. There is something in the works to put it all together. I can't wait for that. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!